Welcome, 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 everybody. Come on in. I appreciate you being here and grabbing a seat. I did learn something new today that when I am sharing the screen, you can still see me, which is really exciting to me. But today we're going to cover the one thing that you should be doing right now in your business. And you should also wonder who the heck is this Michael J. Maher guy. So I'm excited to share with you a little bit more about that as well. But thank you for being here. And I'm excited about going, and I'm just going to go. So here we go. You might want to get yourself a pen and paper ready. It's going to come a little fast and furious, but I really want to make sure that we cover the heart of the material. And we need to talk about the one thing you need to do now to get referrals. And we want to dive deep into this subject. But first of all, I need to give you a warning. Viewer discretion is advised. Some of you don't know. So I do want you to know that what I say is entirely Michael J. Maher's opinion and thoughts and suggestions and does not reflect Keller Williams or, for that matter, any other company. And we also have our traditional TCPA do's and don'ts and our do not call do's and don'ts. And want to just make sure you understand that what I'm about to share with you today requires no, do not call, register checking, and does not require any TCPA check-in. But if you're going to do text messages and phone calls, make sure that you do those. So what I love about what we're talking about today is we are texting, calling, communicating, touching people we know. So this, hopefully doesn't apply as much to our subject today. So what is our subject today? How to instantly get referrals, real documented referrals, without spending money or possibly ruining a conversation or even possibly a relationship by asking directly for referrals. That's what we're going to cover today. Is how do you get referrals without spending money or asking for referrals? Aren't you curious about how that might happen? So also, at the end of today, we are going to make sure that we give away a TV to one of you. You must be present to win, and we will make sure that we ship that to you no matter where you live. And I will have Graham and Mandy and Sherry help me pick a winner at the very end. And hopefully you're the lucky winner, but you must be here at the end to get that. And that's my teaser to get you to stay, just so you know. All right. So here's a quick question. How much did you prepare for today's presentation? Like, how much did you prepare for today? Like, how much time did you put into it? How much energy, how much experience, how much effort, how much money, etc. And listen, I don't ask that to be smarmy or anything like that, but I want you to know for today, I've read over 2,500 books. I've invested over $1 million in training and education. I've went to every guru that you've ever heard of and many you haven't heard of, outside and inside the real estate industry. And I've paid for coaching and training every year of my business career. And over time, I put together a referral generating system that has been implemented thousands upon thousands of times and tweaked over 100 times to consolidate for you here today. I have personally spent 27 hours on this presentation, and this presentation is unique to any other presentation I've ever done. I've never done this particular presentation because I wanted to customize it, especially for now and especially for you. And, you know, the thought here is why did I spend so much time, effort, and energy on this? Is listen, there's a partnership that is required, a partnership. And what does a partner do? You want to be able to count on each other. So out of all the referral gurus and all the referral and relationship programs that are out there, Keller Williams chose to work with me, Michael J. Maher, and Referco. Like, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that happened? And I just want you to know I am honored, I am humbled and privileged, and I am so excited, not only for me, but for you on what I'm going to cover in the next hour and a half. So, the key to success, though, is focus. Make this Zoom, this opportunity right now your number one focus. So come on video, like come on video, put your phone aside, maybe grab a notebook, right? Grab a pen. And I want you to know that, listen, if nothing else, the exercise in focus is going to do you some good. And I go back to what my dad always said is wherever you are, be there 100%. And I truly believe that that is the key to success is focus. And in today's world, I truly believe that focus is more important than ever before. Giving people your full intent and your full focus is one of the greatest things you can do in today's world. And I also want you to know, hey, so respect that I've spent 27 plus hours to put together this material and learn from it. And I want you to know I'm 100% here to help you get to that next level, whatever that next level may be for you. Another quick question for you. So, out of all the gurus, teachers, trainers, and existing referral programs out there, Keller Williams chose to work with me and my company. Like, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that is? And what, they had, and there's companies out there that have partnered with different people and that kind of thing. So I think you have to like, all right, so what is the reason for that when they maybe they could have gone with someone else, right? So Gary Keller said, master the generosity game, build a powerful referral-based business, put the wisdom of Michael J. Maher into practice now. And I really appreciate that because that's what we're going to talk about today is the generosity game. How do you master the generosity game? And I will tell you that if you want to be the most referred professional in your community, which I am guessing you all want to be, then guess what? The person that is the most referred professional in the community is typically the most generous professional in the community. Generosity leads to referrals. So we're going to talk about mastering the generosity generation real quickly. I'm going to talk about myself a little bit for those that are new to me. I know I see a lot of familiar faces out there. Hello, all of you. But I also see some new faces. So I want to just kind of explain a little bit of who I am in a very quick synopsis. And guess what? Some of these pieces are actually going to be even new to some of those people that have been with me for years. So I want you to know that today, that what we're covering, this one thing was my one thing for years as I developed one of the top businesses in Kansas City. So for those that don't know me, I'm the CEO of Referco, one of the world's foremost authorities on referrals. Howard Brinton called me America's most referred real estate professional. And I wrote a book called 7L, The 7 Levels of Communication, and also co-authored the #1 bestseller, Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. I'm the father and founder of the Generosity Generation, which is my tribe of trust. You can join that at joingengen.com, or I've got a QR code here next. It is my referral network. I believe it's one of the best referral networks on Facebook, and I'm about to invite you to join that so that you can get referrals from the Generosity Generation. I'm a top-rated speaker, best-selling author, trainer, and certified master coach. And here is the invite to the Generosity Generation. So you can scan that QR code with your phone right now, right? Or you can go to joingengen.com on your computer, right? So scan the QR code, or you can take a picture of it and you can check that out later. We'd love to have you. You will answer a few questions to get in. It is private. It is a private group. So we do filter out the trolls and the bots and things like that, but we'd love to have you involved. Here's another disclaimer that you need to know about me. I am not a motivational speaker. If you need motivation, I'm not your guy. If you want somebody to make you feel great and somebody to make you feel good and somebody that is just going to like talk to you and tell you that you're enough, you're great, you're super, you that kind of thing, then guess what? I'm probably not a great fit for you. I am the person that I take the motivated and I give them the system, strategies, and tactics necessary to take their business and life to the next level. That's what I do, right? I help a train that's already running get on the right track, right? So I just want you to know it's like one of the ways to determine whether you are motivated or not is like, why are you in real estate? 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 Somebody give me an answer, right? Why are you in real estate? Somebody raise your hand. If you're not familiar with Zoom, Tanya Tutor, if you could come on, we'll get you off. I'll just take you off mute. How about that? So, why are you in real estate?
It's very fulfilling to me to be able to help others.
Yeah. So let's go deeper into that. Right. But you could fulfill others in a million different occupations. Why real estate?
I guess just helping people navigate the market and find their dream home. It's just very rewarding. And I met some awesome people doing it.
That's another key. I have to tell you, I'm an extreme introvert. I truly believe that without real estate, my circle would be like 5 or 6 people and my life would be very small. I truly believe that. What real estate has done, it has forced me out of my little comfort zone bubble to meet more people, to meet more people, to meet more people. And I have so many great people in my life because of real estate. I love that. Tim Phillips, why are you in real estate?
So I got into real estate obviously to help people too, but more importantly to make as much money as possible through helping people with one of the biggest like transactions of their life. I was previously background psychology working in behavioral therapy with kids and families, and I didn't get paid what I thought I was worth, to be honest with you. And I just kind of transitioned that into real estate.
I'm 100% with you. I was a teacher for 4 years. I taught, coached 3 sports, made no money. And then I bought my first home, and the ladies it was 2 ladies that ran the new home subdivision that I bought at. They were both like, you'd be so good in real estate. I'm sure they said that to every single buyer that bought there. But it was like, well, you know what? I've always wanted to invest in real estate. So I'll go get my real estate license to learn how to invest in real estate. So I went to school to actually learn how to invest in real estate. Of course, I didn't. I learned how to pass a test, right? I learned how to pass the test. I passed the test, and then I was like, I got to hook up with a brokerage. So I went to the very first, in fact, I went with the brokerage of the 2 ladies who were working the new home subdivision just because that's the only one I knew. I didn't interview anywhere, right? And then here's what I discovered early on in real estate is that not only do you get the intrinsic reward of helping people, educating them, helping them with the biggest financial investment of their life, but you also get the extrinsic reward of monetary reward. You are paid what you're worth in real estate. And what is the income potential of real estate?
Unlimited.
It's limitless. It is literally you do whatever you want, however much you want, and you can make the skies. I've made millions. Think about that. A little guy from Kansas who was a teacher has made millions upon millions in real estate. It's just in Kansas of all people. Like I'm not in California or Florida or whatever it may be. So very, very cool experience. And I think here's the one thing I do want to throw out to all of you. And this is even going to be new to the Kelsey Clarks and the Kim Spencers and the Carlas. And so I had a coach early on in my life who said, write down your goals. How many of you have ever had a coach that said, write down your goals, right? We've all had that. And so what kind of goals do we write down? So a lot of people will write down a transaction goal or volume. I didn't even know what a transaction was. I didn't even know what volume was. I wrote down that I'm going to be the best real estate agent in the history of the world. That was my first goal in real estate. I'm going to be the best realtor who ever lived. I want you all to write that down on your piece of paper. I am going to be the greatest realtor who ever lived. Some of you are already living it. But here's what's really cool about being the best realtor who ever lived. All of us can be the best real estate agent in the history. Did you know that? We can all be the best real estate agent in the history of the world, because we're not all going to work with the same clients. And who are we the best real estate agent in the history of the world for? We're the best agent in the history of the world for each of our clients. That's who we're not judged by the market. We're not judged by other realtors, right? We are judged by our clients. And we can all be the best real estate agent in the history of the world, which is a pretty cool thought, right? So let's keep going with this. Now, I have two real objectives today. Number one is give value. I want to give massive value. So I truly want you to know this is the one thing every agent should be doing right now. I know it. I believe it. I've experienced it. I've seen the results of it. I've seen the rewards of it. I've seen the paychecks people have gotten, the closing sheets with their paycheck. I've seen it, right? Here's the other thing. My second objective is, once I've given massive value, I want to show you what's next, show you how I may be able to help you, how we could possibly work together to build something that perhaps you've never even imagined before. That's my joy. Those are the two objectives today. Any questions on those two objectives? No. One, give massive value. Isn't that a great way to start a relationship? And number two, like, where do we go from here? Right? All right. So I want you to know something. I did a lot of things right. I did. There we go. Great. I also did a lot of things wrong, just so you know. Now, I truly believe the beginning is a great place to start. A quick backstory. I started in 1999. Remember 1999? You guys remember? I mean, how about that guy on the left? How about the blonde tips on the hair, right? I mean, so hopeful, so innocent, right? So just ready to take on the world, right? So in 1999, we had Y2K coming. You guys remember Y2K? Everybody is scary, right? Everybody is like, oh gosh, right? Well, I want you to know that when I first started, I tried everything. I tried going to doors. I tried cold calling from a literally cold, remember the coal books, right? The phone book, the white pages. I did everything. And then I got my first client, Davey and Vanessa, from my sphere. I actually got Davey from playing softball with Davey. That's right. My first client didn't come from any prospecting technique. It literally came from someone I knew. And guess what the stats show? 4 out of our first 5 transactions will be from someone we know. 4 out of our first 5. And honestly, what the stats show is 4 out of your next 5 will come from your sphere. So I want you to know, with Davey and Vanessa, I was showing homes. Very first client, you got to realize this. I got no training. I literally was showing homes, and they would get interested in the home, and I would talk them out of it, because you know what? I didn't know how to write a contract. So I literally came up with all kinds of excuses for them not to buy. And they actually loved it. They were like, oh my gosh, like this guy's really working for me, and he's really explaining things. And he's like, man, he's preventing us from making a bad investment. And honestly, I was actually preventing it myself from being exposed as a fraud, because I didn't know what was next. I literally, if Davey and Vanessa said, we want to make an offer, I'd be like, I have no idea what to do. Right. That's the kind of training I got early on. Now, so then we went into a new construction neighborhood, right? So this new neighborhood was right down the road from a new school, and a really growing and pretty cool area, right? So we went through the model home, and we ended up going through the 4 models. Well, at the 3rd model, like, I knew the gig was up. Like, Vanessa was starting to like measure the rooms for they were smitten. They were in love with this 3rd model. And like, they were super happy, but I was super sweating. Like, it's like the gig is up, right? I'm about to be exposed as the fraud that I am. We went through the 4th model, and then we circled back and went back into the garage of the 1st model. And there were the new agents, right? Or the new home agents. And I walked in, and Davey and Vanessa were there, and so the lady behind the desk goes, well, what'd you think? And it was so funny is because like Vanessa was like, we love it. So we literally lost all negotiating strength right from the beginning. But so the lady goes, oh, well, do you want me to write it up? And I saw I go, you're dang right. I want you to write that up. And I'm going to check every word and read every paragraph. And guess what? I did. And I was going to, because it was the first contract I'd ever seen. Right. And then I was like, here's the other thing. Make sure in that contract that you give us the right to do inspections on this home, because I'd literally gone to one team meeting, and in the team meeting, they talked about how important it was for your people to do inspections, right? So lo and behold, they go, and they ended up like, closing 90 days later. They we did inspections at like 75th day. Well, they found something. They found that the basement needed another supporting beam, and it was kind of a big deal. And it ended up, the builder did it with no problem. And, Davey and Vanessa were like, oh my gosh, like, you're the best agent ever. Thank you for catching that. And they ended up closing 15 days later, and everything was fine. But from the very first client, I did 37 my first year, 87 my second, 187 my third, 205, 255, and over 300 transactions, right? And in 2005, I was interviewed by Howard Brinton. And then guess what? He said, Michael J. Maher, I showed him over 500 documented referrals from the year 2005. He said, Michael J. Maher is America's most referred realtor. I got inundated by calls and emails, and they would ask me about different things we were doing. I would send them the answer, but I knew that I was giving them an answer and not the answer. So it was like, I need to write a book. Well, like a lot of people who need to write a book, I didn't write a book, right? I didn't write a book because I was doing real estate. I wasn't super motivated to write a book. Then on December 13th of 2007, I had knee surgery. And then on December 18th, 2007, I actually was in the hospital because I had trouble breathing on the night of December 17th. And I ended up, because of blood clots, I actually died. I died for 37 seconds in Olathe Medical Center, of all places. And when I came to, after flatlining for 37 seconds, the first thing I thought of is I don't have any children. And I'd always been ambivalent about children. And at that moment, it was like, I want to have children. And the second thing I thought of was like, this system that I have that's generating 500 plus referrals a year just died with me on that table. So in ICU later that night, I outlined 7L. And 2 years later, 7L, the 7 levels of communication, the book was born. And interestingly enough, 11 months after that, we had our only son, Max, who is now 16 years old, right? So don't wait for a life-changing event to change your life is kind of my quote for life. But that's what got me to where I am today. And after doing this for 25 years, here's what I know. I know that the cold callers are a dying breed. There's just more and more rules making it difficult for them to do that. It's harder and harder to do expireds and for sale by owners legally, right? There's DNC this, TCPA that, and everything else. And then, like, I've done the door knocking. Door knocking is a lot of time and effort for low results, and you can make people upset by just knocking on their door. And I didn't like that. But here's the thing. So I know relationships are the answer, but how do we build the relationships? What's the best way to build relationships? What I know is that emailing market reports or equity reports doesn't work. I've done it. It doesn't work. It's not effective. You can only do one a year. And then what? I mean, are you really going to give quarterly updates as to the pricing of their home? Like, they don't care unless they're selling. And guess what? Most of the people aren't selling. Pop buys, did them, worked on them, right? they're a lot of time and they're a lot of effort with really low results. I wasn't getting referrals by doing pop buys. In fact, I noticed that we were both feeling kind of awkward, even though we knew it was going to happen. Here's the thing I also know. Referrals are the past. They are the present, but most importantly, based on all of the business modeling and everything you're seeing, referrals are the future. And what kind of referrals? Well, predictable referrals are the best, especially if you can create predictable referrals from something that is leverageable and scalable. Leverageable and scalable. So how do we do that? What do we need to do? And I want you to know that I did discover all this the hard way, but you're going to get to cheat and you get it the easy way, right? The hard way is lots of being an unpaid delivery driver, lots of time wasting one-to-one meetings, asking for referrals and then immediately regretting it. Like, oh, sheesh, that did not go as well as I thought. Forgetting about my referral sources. That's never a good way to do it. Focusing on that next sale. I mean, who's guilty of that? Instead of those who like us, trust us, and respect us. That's the hard way. That's the hard way. So do you want the easy way that never requires you to verbally ask for a referral ever again? It doesn't waste your time. It doesn't cost you money, and it's fun. The easy way doesn't require you to ask for a referral ever again verbally. It doesn't waste your time. It doesn't cost you money, and it's fun to boot. Imagine averaging a referral or more a day, literally waking up to a text or a Facebook message every day with someone referring you and your business. And not only that, but knowing when most of those referrals are going to happen. Like imagine like predictable referrals, not referrals from left field or out of the blue. So how would that change your business and how would that change your life? If every day you were getting a referral or on one day you got 10 referrals and you knew what day those 10 referrals were going to come. Like that's a great life. That's a great business. That's powerful. So this March and April, I just want to throw this out. So this March and April, my clients generated over 750 documented referrals in just 2 months without verbally asking for a single referral. And it cost them, how much do you think it cost them to like gifts wise and money wise and all that? Like how much do you think it cost them to get 750 referrals in 2 months? Here's the deal. It didn't cost them anything. They actually made money doing the thing that got them 750 referrals. Yes. 0 doors knocked, 0 cold calls, 0 pop buys, 0 DNC list checked, 0 TCPA worries, 0 people bothered, 0 cost, and yet 750 referrals. Now, I have to tell you, the results are not typical. I will walk you through exactly what we did, specific strategies and systems that are earning the referrals right now. But I want you to know my results and my clients' results are certainly not typical. And the average person, and trust me on this, you know people like this, the average realtor or agent who attends any training gets 0 results because they don't implement. However, I want you to know, I'm happy to show you exactly what's working for me, free, in just the next few pages, right? This is not for get rich quick people, side hustle people, or amateurs. This is for professional real estate agents, and hopefully that's you, right? So which is better? We can all agree that referrals are more valuable. So how do we get more referrals? We know we need to communicate to keep in touch and stay top of mind. But is there a secret sauce, a powerful solution to getting more referrals? And could we even predict the days of the year that we will get the most referrals? The answer is yes. And it wouldn't matter if we were a new agent, a growing agent, a mega agent, or a mega agent. This solution would work no matter what stage we are in business-wise. And the answer to all this is yes, right? There is a secret sauce. There is a powerful solution. And it doesn't matter where you're at, whether you're new, whether you're experienced, or whether you are the biggest, baddest producer in the room. So how are you touching your database today? Let me ask you that. In other words, what are you talking to your sphere about today? How are you touching? So raise your hand below. Like what are you talking to your database about today? Right? Now, if you're one of my people, don't say anything. Right? So yeah, Tim, it looks like Tim's going to do some personal coaching here today with Michael Maher. So it's like, if nobody else raises their hand, Tim, you know what you do? You just keep talking. Good stuff.
Sure. So I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place. I've got some listings where I'm pulling out like the investment thing of, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm not sure if this is for you, but do you know of anybody that would be interested in passive income opportunity? I got this, duplex coming to market soon. Do you happen to know anybody?
Yeah. All right. So so it's business related. It's pointed to a business, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be applicable to a very small percentage of your database. Would you agree with that? Right?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. I'm going to show you a better way in a second. Are you open to that?
Absolutely. So just for your understanding,
Yeah.
I used to kind of take like the, just like bullshitting approach. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up, man? What's going
Yeah.
on? That stuff. And I've transitioned into more business
Thank,
related, but yeah, I'm totally open-minded.
all right. So we're going to go halfway in between both of those. How's that sound?
Love it.
Right. All right. So here's the other thing. I saw some people that were talking about Memorial Day safety tips, right? Here's the thing. If that's a good excuse for you to call. But I want you to know that maybe like is that your role in their life, is to give them Memorial Day safety tips, right? And the thing is here's the thing. I'm not saying it's bad. Any excuse to call is usually a pretty good excuse, but I'm going to give you something that is so perfect that you instantly go, why didn't I think of that before? So and yeah, Mary, did you have another add on to that, or is that what you're going to say?
No, it's just that I try to have some events as far as client appreciation every year. So when one is coming up, I'll try to reach out to people either through phone or text and say, by the way, an email came to the next client appreciation event. Just wanted to make sure you got that email, and will I get to see you at that? So,
Yeah. Well, I love that idea. So let's explore some ideas, right? And let's keep going with some ideas and some strategies that we can literally, listen, implement every day of the year. Like, what if you had a reason to call or touch your sphere every single day of the year, right? That's what we want. So let's talk about that, right? Is there a best way to keep in touch with your sphere, right? You guys are all familiar with MREA, one of the greatest books ever written. You've probably heard of the 33 touch, and there's been tons of people come out with different stuff. 36 touch, 54 touch, 108 touch. Like 108 touch, really? Right? In MRA, it also talks about the 8x8. Do you know what that is? That's when you do 8 things in 8 weeks, right? You send some type of thing 8 times in 8 weeks, and by the end of 8 weeks, you have essentially branded yourself in their brain. So here's the thing. What if we could mix the best of the 8x8 and the best of the 36 touch and increase the frequency and consistency of our referrals? So we could literally call this like Mets mastery, right? Like, let's accomplish Mets mastery. And I truly believe Mets mastery is referral mastery. There are a lot of ways to keep in touch. So let's cover them all. Like, literally in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to cover the single best piece of direct mail you could ever send to your database to get referrals, the single best thing you can email to your database to get referrals. And spoiler alert, it is not a market report or a CMA. The single best Facebook private message you could ever send to a Facebook friend, literally the best. The single best thing you could write in a handwritten note, the single best video, right? Video is huge. We know we should be doing video. So what is the single best video that we could do for our database to get referrals? I'm going to share that with you. The absolute best text message you could ever send, the single best phone call you could ever make to your database. The single best thing you could ever say at a one-on-one. And literally, I'm going to share with you this secret. The secret of what is the number one single best reason to contact your sphere or your database. Like, what are those? Like, what is this touch? And here's the thing that I want you to know. What if they were all the same thing? What if the best direct mail piece, the best email, best Facebook message, best text message, best phone call, best video, best handwritten note, what if the best of all of these was actually one thing? How cool would that be? And guess what? The number one single best reason to contact or touch your database or touch your sphere in any form of communication is an invitation to an event. It's an invitation. You might want to write that down. It is an invitation to an event. Now, if you're going to have an invitation to an event, you might want to have an event. Now, here's the beauty of an invitation to an event, right? Is by definition, an invite is inviting them to your life. Invital, right? Invitation means in my life. You're asking them to be in your life by inviting them to something you're doing. And here's the other thing. An invitation to an event is also attractive. My entire system, the referral mastery system, is 100% attraction based, not chasing. Quit chasing, start attracting. We are going to attract people to us. They're going to be moving towards us instead of moving away from us. If people are moving away from us, we're not going to chase them. We are going to utilize ways to attract people. And guess what? If they're moving towards you, you can do the rest of it and get referrals. So I wrote a book called The 7 Levels of Communication, and it talks about these different levels and types of communication. And I want you to know something. I'm going to bottom line a 200-page book, and that is the secret to maximizing referrals is events. It's events. So the one thing you need to do right now to get referrals is to do an event, but not just an event. It needs to be a referral generating event. A referral generate. No, I mean, that's too many people are like, here's the thing. The hottest trend in real estate marketing right now is event marketing. And I'm going to say that I think I caused that. I made that happen. And I say that in all humility, but nobody was talking about events in 2005. Nobody. They were talking about 7,000 other different ways, marketing and putting your brand on everything, putting your picture on a sign and putting, advertisements on the back of receipts at stores and putting ads on the little flip things at the stores where the babies sit, right? I mean, like they were talking all this marketing and it was bigger and bolder, right? Make everything bigger and bolder. But guess what? The one thing you need to do right now is not just do an event. You need to do a referral generating event where we have documented referrals from the event. So that's it, right? Any questions? Any questions on that? The number one thing we need to be doing right now is an event, right? Gladys Madison, do you have a question? You've never looked better, by the way. I'm just kidding. It's hard. You don't have your camera on. Did you have a question, Gladys? Okay. All right, Tim.
What's an example of a referral generating event?
Isn't that a great question? Like, what should we do? Right? I mean, it's like, yeah, we should do an event, right? So that's the beauty of what I'm going to share with you next, right? Is I'm going to share with you some things you better not do, right? And I'm going to share some things with you on exactly how you can get referrals from events, because here's the thing. Some people do events and they're tired afterwards and they did it all themselves and they spent a bunch of money and they literally got 0 referrals, but they felt good because they heard they should do an event and they did an event. I say BS to all that. If you're going to do an event, you better get referrals. And guess what? I have a referral system, 3 referral systems that I teach within an 8-week event mastery system, right? So within the system, I'm going to give you 3 specific exact ways to get documented referrals. So if you're already doing events, you're going to blow up with this. If you've never done an event, then I'm going to step you through, hold your hand to the point where you're doing a referral generating event from your very first event. So let's talk a little bit more about how do we do these events. So Tim Phillips, I really appreciate the question because it's a great segue into what we're doing here, right? So, all right. So remember Davey and Vanessa I talked about early, right? My very first client. So I did a thing with them. I threw them a housewarming party. I threw a housewarming party for Davey and Vanessa. As you can imagine, the atmosphere was awesome. We celebrated, congratulating everybody, lots of pride in the home. And the thing about it was the hat I had on during the housewarming party was not my coaching hat. It was not my like softball player hat. It wasn't my baseball player hat. It wasn't my teacher hat. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody who met me at that party saw me, even though I wasn't wearing a hat, they saw me with an agent hat on. They saw me as an agent. So at that event, I added 38 new people to my agent sphere. Now, I want you to know, I doubled my sphere of influence at this very first event. I had 38 people I knew, and now I had 38 new people. Well, which group is better? The 38 people who knew me as a teacher and a coach, or the 38 people who knew me as an agent? Guess what? The agent sphere is always better than the sphere. So we need to build our agent sphere, right? And by the way, at that very first event, I got 11 referrals. At Davey and Vanessa's housewarming party, I got 11 referrals. And some cool things also turned out from that event, but it was like the best day ever. And my very first event was a smashing success. Now, I want you to know the events that I'm going to teach you about are not housewarming parties. I'm going to teach you about events that are even better. Okay. So here's some things I want you to know. I'm going to share with you 4 secrets. Secret number 1, I can get more referrals in one day than most people can get all year. Imagine the time, the miles, and the headaches that we save. And here's the other thing I want you to know. Small events can get you big time referrals. So that's secret number 1, right? There's plenty of reasons to host an event, but I truly believe the biggest and most important reason is to get referrals. I will also real quickly just say that extroverts tend to love the idea of an event, but I have to rein you in on how to like make that event a referral generating event instead of just a social event. Social events, yeah, great, whatever, right? But what if we could make that natural socializing rubber meet the road by having a referral generating event? Now, here's the other thing. I'm a huge introvert. And if you're introverted at all, you have to do events because you're not going to brag about yourself. You're not going to go socialize normally. You're not going to go socialize for energy. In fact, you are going to retreat for energy. So here's the thing. You have to do events because you have to get your extroverts in your network together, right? Because if you bring the extroverts that you know into a room together, they're all going to talk to each other. And instead of you being your own ambassador, what I did is I built an army of ambassadors, and most of them were extroverts. So I brought the extroverts together and fed them. I didn't feed, yes, I did feed them food, but I also fed them the socialization that they craved. And then they went and bragged to everybody about me and my business. And it turned into all these people who were referring me business. So if you're an introvert, you got to do this. If you're an extrovert, you're already loving it. So secret number 2, doing a professional event is much easier than doing a birthday party for your kids. I'm just telling you, doing this right is easier than a birthday party. You're going to be able to get more help. Nobody needs to bring gifts. There is sponsor potential, unlike your kid's birthday party, and more, right? But we're going to follow the same formula as a birthday party, but we're going to get referrals instead of gifts. If you're up for that, that's secret number 2. Doing a professional event is much easier than you think. Secret number 3, getting people to a fun event. You might want to write that down. Fun event is a lot easier than getting them to a real estate event. We're going to focus on the fun. Imagine so many people who want to attend your event that you have to do a wait list. Just had a client during the last event mastery that had this problem, had too many people sign up and had to do a wait list for the next event. Pretty cool problem to have. Secret number 4, getting sponsors to help you pay for a fun event is a lot easier than getting them to sponsor a real estate event. And it's a lot easier because it doesn't have the real estate weight on it, and you're going to get more people. And guess what sponsors want? Sponsors want people to, they want more people, right? And if it is a consumer, not a client event, it's a consumer or community event, which it is. That's what I'm teaching you. I'm just telling you, rule number 1 of client appreciation events is don't call them client appreciation events. Don't ever call your event a client appreciation event. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. It opens you up to so many more sponsor partners when you're doing a consumer event. And it also avoids like RESPA issues and all that other kind of stuff, because you're just a sponsor of a consumer event and you're looking for other people to be sponsors of your event. All right. So I want you to know that getting sponsors is easier than it ever has been because people are looking to get clients. Some mistakes that I've seen that have been made is, first of all, not having an event for them to sponsor. It's impossible to get sponsors for an event that doesn't exist. I'm just telling you, it's really hard. Number 2, not knowing how much you need from the sponsor partner, not telling them, well, I'm not sure how much. Give them a number, $100, $500, $1,000. What, like, they need to know how much they need, and they kind of need to know what they're going to get for it, right? Here's the other thing. A big mistake that I see agents making is they're narrow-minded about who can sponsor their events. Can you guess what profession sponsored the most amount of events last year? The number 1 sponsor of events last year. You might think it's like beer companies, or you might think it's like pharmaceuticals, and it's not. Those are top advertisers. But the number 1 profession to sponsor is personal injury attorneys. Have you ever had a personal injury attorney be a sponsor of your event? And it's like, if not, why not? Like, they're sponsoring events. They should be sponsoring your event. Now, here's the other thing, is not giving the opportunity to enough people. That goes into number 3 a little bit, right? Is you just don't tell people that you're having an event and you want sponsors. So guess what? You're not going to get sponsors. And the last mistake that I see quite a bit with sponsors is just asking for too little money. And I'm sure Sherry Harrington can speak to that later, but like asking for too little money, what you're doing is really valuable. Your endorsement is worth a lot, but your endorsement is worth even more because the people at the event know you. So your endorsement is actually priceless to your own sphere. All right. So in summary, the 4 secrets: we can get more referrals in 1 day by doing an event than in a year calling, texting, being reactive, being all over the place, right? Secret number 2 is if you can throw a birthday party for a kid, you can host an event. Plus, others want to help you with a consumer event. You're like, there is like an amateur party planner in your sphere that if you said, I'm doing an event, they would jump on the opportunity to help. And guess what? We've discovered there are lots of people in your sphere who want to help you throw a cool event. So why aren't we asking them to? Why aren't we letting people help us? Because they want to. And guess what? When they help us, they get fulfilled. They know they have value. They enjoy helping us. And we enjoy their help because it means we have to do less stuff. So secret number 3, focus on the fun. Do a fun event, not a real estate event. Do an event people would love to attend, and they will attend it. Sponsors want to partner if you'll just let them know you're doing a fun event. So those are the 4 secrets that we really need to cover. Any questions on those 4 secrets? I know I'm going pretty fast, but listen, I want to make sure you get this because this is a game changer. This literally changed my entire world to the point where I only had to show up in Kansas City 7 days of the year and was getting over 500 referrals. Think about that. 7 days of work. So Tanya Tudor, and then I'll go to you, Tim Phillips.
Are you going to give us an examples of fun events? Because my idea of fun and somebody else's might not be the same thing.
Yes, I'm going to give you like lot more examples than you could probably like love, right? I mean, like than you could write down. So what if I told you the answer to that is literally limitless, right? It's literally limitless. Like you're exactly right. But here's the thing. Something I know is more fun than other things, like beer is more fun, right? Than a lot of other things. No, I'm a non-drinker, but here's what I do know. If I have something that says free beer, I'm going to be the most popular guy in the city, right? So get out of the way and just like, all right, I've got free beer over here, but you got to go through me to get it. That's honestly like bowling is a lot of fun for a lot of people. Something in the park, bark in the park, paws in the park, like dog events, fun. How many of you have dogs? Would you go to a bark in the park event? Probably so, right? It'd be a lot of fun. So barbecue, food is fun. Food, people will come for food. People will come for alcohol. They will come for entertainment. So the bottom line is it's probably easier than we think, and we get so mixed up in what the idea is. And I'm going to give you a solution to that in a little bit. Yeah, Tim Phillips.
So we're doing a ice cream end of school kickoff summer ice cream truck in our neighborhood that we did last year. When you do these events, do you have advertising for real estate, or do you kind of keep it grassroots where everyone's whispering around saying what you do?
Yeah. So here's my marketing mastery. I one of the 10 things that I teach during event mastery is marketing mastery. One of the mantras of the marketing mastery is when in doubt, leave it out. When in doubt, leave it out, which is so counter to what everybody says about being direct and in their face. And all. Here's the thing. If it's a marketing event, it's going to fail. If they smell commission breath or if they smell advertising or marketing, you're going to lose the whole effect of fun event, right? You want people to let their barriers down and let their hair down and just have fun. So, but here's the thing. Why do we advertise? Why do we feel like we need to market everything? Is because we want business from the event. But I have 3 subtle systems where you won't market at all because you don't have to market because the referral systems are getting you referrals, right? You wouldn't worry. I mean, which do you want more? Marketing and putting your brand all over or referrals? Which do you want more of, Tim?
Referrals.
Yeah. So we have a system, 3 systems before, during, and after the event to get referrals, right? And when I say get referrals, I don't mean one referral. Like last year at your ice cream event, how many referrals did you get at the event? How many referrals did you get before the event?
None.
All right. I guarantee we're going to beat that. How many did you get at the event?
None.
Okay. We're going to beat that. How many did you get right within the 2 weeks to 4 weeks after?
None.
All right. So we're going to beat that. I feel really confident about how we're going to do with this. All right. I'm going to show you 3 systems before, during, and after that will get you not just referrals, documented referrals without you saying anything to your people, without you verbally asking for a referral, right? Why make people feel awkward when we can make them feel awesome, right? All right. So we'll keep going. All right. So here's the thing, right? We're kind of done, right? Now I'm going to give you like 9 more ideas and 9 more strategies, but here's what I want you to know, right? Is my 2 objectives were number 1, to give massive value first, right? So by a show of hands physically, how many of you got value from today's session, right? You learned something new or you were reminded of something you probably should be doing. Raise your hand if you got value, right? So here's the thing. I have something for you that I've put together, right? Is it okay if I show you what I've put together for you? Is that okay? And I'll go over it, But here's the thing. If you don't want me to, I won't. And we can just call this the end and be good. And guess what? Now we're a 90-minute webinar or Zoom is only 60 minutes, right? Or I can go into it, right? So in the chat window, just say, give it to me if you want me to go into like what we can do next. And I'm going to give you 9 more strategies. All right. So Roman is literally a high D with a D chaser. I can tell he was the first one to type and he said, let's go. Right. All right. So we're going to go. We're going to do it. All right. All right. So here's the thing, right? Is how would you like to work with me directly where I can help you to implement what we've talked about, right? I could help you do a referral generating event. That's what I want, right? I want to give you something that gives you predictable referrals where everyone loves you. You're going to get lots of commissions that were lots easier to earn because the clients were referred to you instead of you having to chase clients, right? So, you know, how would it be if we could work together on this? I do have something for you. And so here's what I have for you. It's called Event Mastery. Event Mastery starts on June 3rd. It's Tuesday and Friday, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. We do go longer with Q&A if you want, but you really need to plan for an hour to be on those sessions, Tuesday and Friday. Please notice the power of Tuesday and Friday sessions. Monday, I am in real estate. Like Monday is a day for real estate. Like you just got to get stuff done from the weekend. Yeah. And so Monday's a bad day to do training. It really is. Tuesday is a great day to do training. And honestly, that's where KW came up with their first Tuesday morning meetings, was because Tuesday was kind of the best day. Well, we're going to do Tuesday afternoon. Now, I don't know, you guys can be whatever time zone you are, but it's Tuesday and Friday at 2 o'clock and it's live with me just like this. So it's not like you watching a recording and like no accountability, you know, do whatever you want. No, it's live training. I'm going to literally get on, answer your questions, give you the training. If you don't like my sense of humor, then don't sign up. I'm just telling you that I'm a little weird with my sense of humor. It's very dry and sometimes you really got to catch it, right? Kim Spencer, right? I will tell you though, if you have to miss, it does happen. All sessions are recorded for replay. We do have an app where you will have the access to get those recordings when you want them and make sure you stay caught up. So these are the 8 weeks. The first week is planning mastery. The second week is invitation mastery. Week 3, you better not miss. Week 3 is worth tens of thousands of dollars to all of you. Okay. And week 3 is sponsor mastery. And by the way, in week 2, I do cover referral mastery, referral system number 1, the RSVP ASAP system. And then week 4, we have invitation mastery on Tuesday, but Friday, July 4th, we will not have class. Week 5 is more invitation mastery and confirmation mastery. And week 6 is confirmation mastery. So confirm, confirm, confirm. One of the things that people make a mistake with is they invite, but then people don't show at the event. And they're like, well, why didn't they show? Well, you didn't remind them to show up. So they forgot. And that's how it works. So we have a whole thing on confirmation mastery. And during week 6 and week 7, I go through referral mastery system number 2, which is the door prize system, which is really, really powerful. And then week 7, listen, everybody, week 7, you're doing your event. So here's the thing. If you don't want to do an event and you just want to like don't sign up. If you want to get referrals in 7 weeks, then sign up for Event Mastery. Because here's the thing. You're going to do an event. You literally cannot get referrals if you don't do an event. Flip side, if you do an event, you're guaranteed to get referrals with the Event Mastery system, right? So I want you to know, Tim nailed it, is we have calibrated this summer session of Event Mastery for National Ice Cream Day. So National Ice Cream Day is that 3rd week of July. You're going to do it. Now, do you have to do ice cream? The answer is you do not. You can do a pool party. You can do bark in the park. You could do brew crew. You could do a happy hour. You could, but you're going to do an event that 3rd week of July. All right. Then here's the thing. We are not done. And this is the biggest problem that I see out there is people fail to follow up properly from an event, and you missed maybe the biggest referral opportunity of all, which is in follow-up. So I teach you follow-up mastery in week 8, but here's the thing. You're going to do your own follow-up in weeks 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. So I teach you for 8 weeks, and then you continue the follow-up for 3 or 4 weeks, because guess what? You're going to, because of the amount of leads and referrals you've generated. It's going to take 4 weeks to follow up. And please notice how this works perfectly with the 12-week year or a quarterly program or a quarterly event. You could do a quarterly event because a quarter is about 12 weeks. And this is a 12-week plan. Now, we're working together for 8, but the last 3 are pretty easy after you have the first 8, right? So the 5 sequences of event mastery I just covered is the planning sequence, invitation sequence, the confirmation sequence, the event sequence, and then of course the follow-up sequence. So there's 5 sequences in the event mastery system. You don't need to know that as much as just like within it. You just need to know that we're going to cover things within each of those. So what are you going to get, right? So you get planning mastery, you get invitation mastery, you get confirmation mastery, event mastery, and then follow-up mastery, right? So the 4 main things. The value of that is $69.85, right? That is a retail true value. It's actually worth more than that if you think about like how much you get with referrals. But I want you to know that like this is the base, and this is what we usually charge a couple of grand for, right? So this is the base. But with Keller Williams, because of the standards that they put on us, we actually decided to blow it up even more and give you more stuff, right? So you're going to get the planning sequence, the planning mastery material, right? And the big thing about planning mastery is don't do an event in 4 weeks, right? You want to do a 6 to 8 week program. And that's why, guess what? Event mastery is 8 weeks. Now, you need to also understand the power of the invitation. In some cases, and if you are doing this during the event mastery system, you can get more referrals during the invitation sequence than you can at the event or even after the event. That has happened. Imagine this. You literally get to the event and you've already got 10 referrals. That happens, like not just rarely, that happens, right? If you implement. If you don't implement, you'll get nothing. That's the truth. The 2 type of events that we talk about is the big event, which is an all yap, and then a small event, which is a top yap. You've heard of micro events. Now listen, some people say they're doing micro events, but really what's happening is they're inviting a lot of people and nobody's coming, right? That's not what I'm talking about here. A true definition in event marketing of a micro event is an event that you are purposely keeping small for a reason. You are segmenting a part of your sphere to hold that event. And the ultimate segment, you might want to write this down. The ultimate segment in your sphere is your top people, the people who are the most successful, most influential, most connected, and listen to this, the people who are referring you the most or most likely to refer you. Those people are the most important people to segment it. You got to have something for them. What we want to do is we need to keep our ambassadors ambassador-ing, right? So I want to cover this real quickly because some of us get confused on who we invite at different events. So we have something called all YAP events. All YAP is all yearly appreciation plan. So YAP is yearly appreciation plan. So you should have a yearly appreciation plan for your sphere. That just makes sense. So this is the all YAP. And so who do we invite to the all YAP, our large events? And the answer to that is we invite everyone, right? So we're going to invite our top people, and they need to be the first people we invite. The top people we know should be the first people we invite because we don't want to forget them, and we don't want to like get to the end and not have enough room for them, right? So we're going to invite the top people. And I have 2 plans for that within Event Mastery that's outside the scope of this today. But guess what? When you invite them to events, you actually can get their advice, but you can also get their referrals at the same time. You're also going to invite current and past clients. But remember, we are not calling our events client appreciation events. We are not. We can do better, and we are going to do better. So current and past clients are invited, though. And then networking partners and affiliates. This is a big one. We definitely want to invite our allies and our affiliates and people that we network with who are also small business owners, because guess what? When you invite them to the event, they become future sponsors of the event and help you offset your costs and expenses later. Also, we're going to invite our Facebook friends, right? So we talked earlier about videos. I literally teach video mastery within Event Mastery, and I give you a video to record every week that will take you less than 30 seconds to record, and you don't need any special equipment, and you shouldn't get any special equipment to record those, and you'll share those on Facebook and other social media. You want to invite out-of-town agents. How would you like to get referrals from out-of-town agents like in other Facebook groups? And this is a reminder to all of you. You should join all those referral groups, including joingengen.com, because guess what? They are likely to refer you. And one of the easiest, best communications you can do is invite out-of-town agents to your event. And you might be saying, well, they're not going to attend. Well, how much does it cost you to invite them if they're not going to attend? The answer is zero, but do you think they might appreciate the invitation even if they can't go? The answer to that's yes, but here's the other thing. They might attend. I have so many stories that I could tell you where I invited out-of-town agents to my event, and I thought there was no way they were going to attend my event, and they did. They drove 3 hours. They drove 5 hours. They were in town for the weekend already, and they were great referral sources for me. So make sure, and by the way, that might be new for you, so write that down. Also, you want to invite everyone you've ever met to your All Yap events. And we're talking high school friends, college friends, we're talking old coworkers. You want everyone, because here's the thing. We need to change their mindset from friend, coworker, whatever, to agent, We want everyone in our sphere to see us with our agent hat on. And guess what? At the head of this event is you as the agent sponsor event, or agent sponsor of the event. All right, here's another one that is really, really cool is, guess what? You want to invite all your internet leads, all your Zillow leads, every lead should be invited to this event. And there's a great Dan Balter story in Minnesota where he invited 1,003 internet leads that he has had for like 10 years. These are old, dead leads. And we had an event. He invited 1,003 people. He had 67 internet leads attend his event. One of those was the CFO of a local Fortune 1000 company. And she came, she got mingled in, she enjoyed the event. She ended up buying an $800,000 house. But not only that, but she talked to Dan about becoming the de facto relocation person for this Fortune 1000 company when they hired people. He would have never invited that person if it wasn't for Event Mastery and this thought of inviting all your internet leads. So I want you to know, you want to make sure you include your internet leads. And then listen, if you've got low numbers or a small sphere like I did, one of the best strategies I did was when I confirmed with people, I implemented the bring a friend strategy, right? So all means all. You want to invite everyone to your All Yap events, okay? No, that's the big event. That's the All Yap event, but there's another kind of event that we teach in Event Mastery, and it's a small event. We call this a Top Yap. What's a Top Yap event? The Top Yap is yearly ambassador program. So YAP is yearly ambassador program. So these are your ambassadors or potential ambassadors, and we want to keep the top people and keep communication with them. So who do we invite to a Top Yap event? Hopefully this is fairly obvious, but we're going to invite the top people. That's who we invite. That's the only people we're going to invite are the top people we know, most successful, most connected, and so on and so forth. All right. So understand the power of the invitation, right? And the other thing is I'm going to teach you confirmation mastery with the I have someone strategy and the bring a friend strategy, you know, powerful stuff. And then also event mastery will be taught is like, why is there energy in an event? Like one of the reasons there's energy in an event is because of the socialization. The people are coming. And also you're a little nervous with an event. An event actually fits everything that you would ever want from like a SMART goal standpoint, right? It's time bound, it's specific, it's measurable. You can measure how many people attend, you can measure how many referrals you get. It's attainable. Anybody can do an event. It's relevant, especially the way we teach it, because you're actually getting business from it. So it's a SMART goal. In fact, I think it might be the smartest goal is to have an event. So it's powerful. Now, also, like I said, nobody else teaches this in events classes, but the fortune is in the follow-up, right? There's 7 types of people to follow up with, and I teach you how to follow up with each one of those. And it is a social media extravaganza to do an event. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to post it everywhere so that FOMO kicks in for everybody who didn't attend, fear of missing out, right? So those are the 5 sequences. So what you're going to get is once again, the value. And I want to bring on Sherry. I hope she's still here, but Sherry Harrington has done event mastery. And so she did a yacht event. We're talking about fun events, right? So she rented out a yacht and got people on it. So Sherry, are you here still?
I am.
Yeah. So you're in San Diego. So tell them a little bit about your event so they get some ideas on how they can implement this and get referrals.
Okay, so this was one of the more expensive events that I did. I think it ended up costing about $5,000, and it cost me 0 because I followed the event mastery system and my sponsors paid for
Hold on a second.
everything.
I think we're good, Sherry. Don't talk anymore. I mean, so everybody's like, this is going to be really expensive. I can't do a yacht, and it's San Diego, and boats are more expensive there than anywhere in the world, right? And you're like, it's 5,000, and like a lot of people would spend 5,000 and call it good, but you got sponsor partners to actually offset that and make it a zero-based event, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think I took event mastery maybe 4 years ago. So this was maybe my 8th event into that, but people over time have seen, they even brought it up to me at this specific event. Like, you've really upped your game. Like, who are these sponsors? What does this mean? Because there's a whole system behind how you're going to recognize your sponsors and all that. But they're like, this is awesome. Like, we would never be able to afford this on our own. And it was 66 people. That's all the yacht could hold. And it was sold out within, I don't know, 2 days of me starting to market it. And I just kept marketing it after that. And we did have a wait list for that one. A couple people weren't able to come, so I was able to get some other people on, but it was an amazing event. And I am 100% into this event mastery. It's a game changer for your business.
Well, I appreciate that. And I think the big thing there is that, you know, what is the yacht to Kansas or Indiana or Ohio? It's a park, right? It really is a park. You can very easily rent a shelter and having a barbecue at a park, and it's going to attract as much as a yacht in San Diego, right? So I absolutely love that, Sherry. Thanks so much. And here's the other thing, like how many referrals did you get? How many referrals have you gotten from events since you took event mastery? How many maybe before? And then how many have you got since you've taken event mastery?
So before 0, I was doing events before, but there was no system behind it. And this is a system. You just have to follow it. And I think that's most people's problem is they can't follow a system. But if you follow it, you will get referrals. So the smallest event I've ever had, I have micro events too, was a mani-pedi thing where I had my state attorney come in and talk about estate planning. So there was 14 people there. I got 8 referrals just for me. And then the largest was when I did the Top Gun premiere at Sinopolis. We had like over 100 people there. We rented out a movie theater and we had 69 referrals at that one.
69 referrals. So that's a really good year for most people, but you're in San Diego. That's like 8 times normal for, I mean, San Diego is everywhere is extremely competitive. San Diego is like Miami, like super crazy competitive. And for her to get 69 referrals in one day is like pretty unheard of. So that's awesome, Sherry. And it also helps that Sherry is phenomenally referable, and anything you have in San Diego should go her way. She's the best. So awesome,
Thank you.
Sherry. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Of course.
So Sherry's going to help us lead us into the next step, which is to give you a couple of bonuses, right? So a couple of bonuses. Number one is sponsor mastery. So we're going to give, this is the value of this is 2,000 plus. Obviously the value of this is 5,000 plus because Sherry literally saved $5,000 from her last event. But the thing is once you know how to get sponsors, how often can you implement that strategy? The answer is forever. And this is probably $1 million value if you really look at it over the course of your career. We also are going to give you marketing mastery, everything you need to know about marketing for your event. And so those will be included. And so also we have Kelsey Clark here who's going to share with her event, like what did you do for your event? And what is the one strategy from Event Mastery that tripled your referrals, Kelsey?
Okay. So hi, I'm Kelsey.
Hi, Kelsey.
I have
Can you
done-
raise your hand just so you come to the front for
Yes.
everybody?
I can try to do that. Where is that? Chat.
You just did it. We're
Oh,
good.
okay. I am from Western North Carolina, the Asheville area, and I've done a number of different events with the Event Mastery system. A Pi Day around Thanksgiving was a really successful one. That's very easy. But in the summer, I do a pool party, and we just finished up a I Love You a Latte event.
Very cool. And so, like, what strategy is your favorite strategy or the one that really helped you the most?
So like Sherry, I did events before and I never got referrals from them. So I think setting up the expectation that I'm asking for referrals without asking for referrals,
Mhm.
through both the RSVP system and the door prize entry form.
Yeah.
Those were the best changes that.
Yeah. So the 3 referral systems were the big game changer for you versus just kind of having an event to have an event, right?
Yes.
I love it. So how many referrals did you get before Event Mastery? And then how many have you got since approximately?
Before with our events, we didn't get any. They were social. I mean, a good touch, but we never got referrals. And then after, I don't know the exact number, but I believe at our Pi Day, we got over 50 for us and our sponsor partners. And just for us, we've gotten definitely between 10 and 20.
Yeah, right. So from 0 to 10 to 20, right? And you're in Western North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Very good. And once again, everybody, it helps to be really referable like Kelsey and Sherry. So if you have anybody in Western North Carolina, I highly suggest you connect them. So thank you, Kelsey. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's keep going, and we're going to add a couple of bonuses because of Kelsey, right? So we're going to also bonus you charity mastery. And also the big hot thing right now is AI mastery. And I'm just going to tell you that session, I'm going to tell you specifically what to use AI for. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you what not to use AI for. And that will keep you real and authentic with your database, because the one thing you don't want to lose is your voice, your real true voice with your database. And I am seeing that mistake being made over and over again, where people are allowing ChatGPT to become their voice. And the fact of the matter is your voice needs to be your voice. So these two bonuses are also part of this program. And I do have a disclaimer for you from KW that they would like me to share. And that is, any text or materials generated by AI should be reviewed for accuracy and reliability, right? So read that while you got a second. So there's a lot of warnings about AI these days, right? So far, the value of what we've talked about with the bonuses is over $10,000, right? And then Cynthia Bear could not be here today, but she wanted to make sure she sent this over. So she did a fall fest, right? So we did a fall fest. We help her do events. In fact, we have a spring fest, summer fest, and fall fest that we help people do with our event mastery class. And at her first event doing fall fest in event mastery, she received 148 referrals at one event. She got 2 new buyers and 1 new seller that day. Literally the day of, they were like, oh my God, we're so glad you did this. We're buying right now and we need an agent. So that's a good thing, right? But it gets better. The story actually gets better than that. Here's the rest of the story. She did another event in Springfest. Her next event resulted in 207 incoming and 35 outgoing referrals, right? So 242. Now, here's the thing. You don't want 242 referrals. I just want you to know you don't want that, because that is a follow-up month and you're trying to work with 2 new buyers and 1 new seller. So we blew this up almost too big. What if there was a system that got you too many leads and too many referrals to the point where you had to send outgoing referrals to agents in your office to serve them? Would that be pretty cool? That's pretty cool, right? So Cynthia's got a couple of bonuses here too, right? So social media mastery, we're going to cover that big time. We're going to turn your social media on fire. Video mastery, I'm going to share with you 8 videos you have to share during the event mastery sequence. And of course, you've heard a lot about the 3 referral systems. The referral systems are not worth just we have sold them for 2,000 before, but I want you to know those are literally priceless. They're priceless. That's where the rubber meets the road, right? So the bonuses alone are almost $8,000 in value. And with Event Mastery total, the value of this program is nearly $15,000. Now, what's one referral worth when it closes for you? One, I don't mean 10 or 240, right? What is one? I mean, is it close to 15? Like, one referral would be worth it, right? But here's the thing, right? So here's the entire program that you get. And if all this did was get you 1 referral, would it be worth it? If it gave you a system that generated predictable referrals, would it be worth it? I mean, seriously, how much is that worth? If we gave you a playbook that you could hand to someone and they could run the play to get referrals, would it be worth it? What if it gave you a reason to touch your sphere any day of the year, right? What if it got you a few sponsors for your next event? Would it be worth it? What if it got you sponsors for the rest of your events that you did for the rest of your career? What if it gave you another profit center that was also a lead generation funnel, not just for you, but also for community members? What if this gave you the kick in the butt to finally get you moving? Would it be worth it? So you can see why it's a good deal at 15,000, right? It's a good deal at 8,000, 10,000, or 15,000. But this is an absolute no-brainer at $2,000, right? I mean, that's what we sell it for. That's $1997 is what Event Mastery has been forever. Well, I want you to know you can thank Gary Keller and Cody Gibson, who heads up KW Maps, and all of KW for this, because you're about to get KW only pricing. Like, sorry if you're not with KW, because you can't get this at this moment, right? So here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Event Mastery is not 15,000, 10,000, or 8,000. Event Mastery is, you can get started today for just $798. That's right, $798, less than $1,000, less than $800. It gets even better. You can do 2 payments of $399, 2 payments of $399, and you pay in June and you pay in July, $399 a piece. That is crazy. That I like. Thank you, Keller Williams. But And I know that's not insignificant, but I also know that gives you enough skin in the game that you're going to implement it, right? How do you get it? You can scan the QR code there, or in my virtual background, you can take a picture of me and you can take a picture of this slide too, by the way. And you can scan the QR code. It will take you immediately to the MAPS coaching site. This is a brand new fast track. This is literally our initial launch into the fast track KW program with all of what Referco is doing. So very, very exciting. You're part of the Authors Inner Circle first class. I'm very excited about that. And we'd love to have you into it. And by the way, if you're one of the first to enroll, you're going to get an extra special bonus. You're going to get the event playbook that gives you all of the systems in one handy place. And you can sign up today, scan the QR code, or go to mapscoaching.com/program/event mastery, or kwreferralmasters.com leads you to the same place. All right. So I do want you to know I had a couple of choices when it came to this program. Number one, I could price it like super low, like $199 a month or something like that. And we'd have a lot of people buy it. But here's the problem I want you to know. I couldn't dedicate the time, energy, effort, or money to each one of you like I can if your investment's a little bit more, right? I wouldn't be able to answer your questions directly or maybe correct you when you're going off track. But because the investment, and listen, I know it's a significant investment, even though it's only $399, right? But in return, you get me giving this all of me. And now it justifies the time, energy, effort, and money that I spend helping you. We do get less overall sales. And listen, I'm sure Gary and the crew, they're all like, well, there's only 100 people in Event Mastery, or there's only this. And I'm like, yeah. So I can literally get to know all of them. I actually know their names and that. I don't want 1,000 people at $9 a piece, right? I want to help people who are really motivated, and I want my motivation to match their motivation. And guess what? We're going to make it happen. So, right? So you've got two choices. One, you can do nothing. And I understand this is a little bit of a leap of faith. But if you don't take it, it is 100% risk-free, right? And the second option is pony up a small but not insignificant investment compared to all the value you get in return today, and just give it a shot, right? So there are two agents right out there. And, the first one is right now, this is probably not you, but you probably know someone like super submissive, super hesitant. And I want you to know, this isn't for you. You might have hesitation, but like you have enough faith in yourself that we're going to work together and this is going to be a success, right? And this is the type of agent that we're working with. And this is what you're going to feel like when your event happens. You're going to feel like Superman, like Sherry and Kelsey. They are superhuman, like Wonder Women for their community because they're holding these events. When they walk into a meeting with their allies, with their sponsor partners, like they stand up and giving them a standing ovation because they've generated more leads and referrals for their sponsor partners than anything else they've ever done, right? So Danny Barron is actually at the KW Mastermind with Gary Keller. And when he started with me 6 years ago, that wasn't even a dream. It wasn't even a pipe dream of his. And guess what? Changed his strategy, changed his business, changed his life. And in 6 years, this is what has happened, right? So he says event mastery has not just been critical, it's been everything to the growth of our team in Cincinnati, Ohio. Michael opened my eyes to the power of events 6 years ago, and there's been no turning back, right? We bring value to our sphere with better and bigger events, and our largest events have now eclipsed 3,000 attendees, and they are consistent in hosting 4 events per year for our sphere, which is what we teach in Referral Mastery. The touch points from these events are the crux of everything we do. We are now the #1 team across all brokerages in Cincinnati, and it would have never been possible without Event Mastery. And events are the best, right? So here's what's really cool. I had the opportunity at his last event to throw out the first pitch at the Cincinnati Reds Cleveland Guardians game. Like, how cool was that? And like, I'm so appreciative of that opportunity. He helped me check off a bucket list item, and I helped him get tens of dozens of thousands of referrals over the years, right? So really cool. So the real question, is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check Event Mastery out, right? And if it does even half of what I've claimed today, it will pay for itself five times over from your very first event, right? So I will tell you that you do have two choices on this. You can sign up, invest in what we do, and then you end up getting into this flow that we talk about a lot, which is sign up, and then you need to show up. And then once you show up, you're going to grow up by being better and getting better. And then at the end of that is you're going to go up. You're going to go to the next level in your life, go to the next level in your business. And it starts with you signing up, and then you've got to show up. And then once you show up, I'm going to help you grow up. And then in the end, we're both going to go up together. So are you ready to go to the next level or not? If you are, we'd love to have you sign up. Otherwise, you sign off. You log off this Zoom tomorrow, you wake up and you get exactly what you've gotten. And that's okay too, right? Which sounds more exciting? Which sounds more energizing? And don't you need a little more energy in your life now, right? So we'd love to have you. So questions, answers, thoughts. So yes, Joey Calvin, go ahead. And we're going to be done here in 7 minutes, just so everybody knows. 8 minutes, actually. Yes, Joey?
I shared in the chat. I'm happy to share with anyone on a much longer phone call because this has changed my life over the course of a few months. So far, just to summarize, I've hosted 3 events. Still don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm learning every day, every week. But so far, GCI documented referrals from this is over $50,000 for me, and there's a lot more coming. So it's awesome. I put my phone number in the chat. Feel free to reach out.
I love it. Well, Joey, I appreciate that. And, Joey's taken Event Mastery a couple of times, and what he's discovered and everybody else does with the evolution of this is the first time you put it together, you implement like 15 to 20% of it, and yet you still get referrals. That's the truth, right? And it might be like 7 referrals or 8 referrals. The second event you do with us, you implement and you end up getting like 15, 16 referrals, right? And then the third time you get better at everything and you get more referrals. So the thing I want you to know about the whole strategy around what we're doing here is this isn't something you just do and then you're done with. It's like you can implement this over and over again in your career. This is the class I wish existed in 1999 when I started, because I would have saved millions of dollars in training. So congratulations on the 50,000, by the way, Joey. It's awesome. So, okay. Other questions? Or let me ask you this, like, what's your biggest aha so far? What's something that you learned or you didn't know before, or something you've been reminded of that you should do? This is the interactive part. Yeah, Tanya? Is it Tanya or Tanya?
Tanya, but you're fine.
Perfect.
Otherwise, I
No,
felt
I'm
it.
not fine. Tanya is much better. I like
It's
that.
fine.
You pronounce it the right way.
Yeah. I guess the biggest aha for me is, I mean, I've heard of doing events, but I didn't realize that there was a system behind it to get more referrals. I mean, I'm out door knocking at least once or twice a week, and it doesn't really lead to a lot. So I feel all those pain points as well.
Yeah, and you're chasing, right? You don't want to chase, but you're willing to do whatever it takes to be successful. You're motivated. You're perfect for what we do. I don't have to motivate you. If you're willing to door knock, you're willing to do an event. Yes? That's the thing. Let's get you away from door knocking, and let's get you where people are knocking on your door. How about that? That's what Event Mastery does. And Sherry Harrington just said, my sponsors pay for the events for the entire year in advance now. So her events are paid for the next 12 months. And it can happen to you as well, right? Patricia Bauer, are you there? How you doing? All I see are fish, right? I
You
love
don't
the
see my
painting.
face? I'm here.
What's up? So, all right,
Okay.
what's your biggest aha? What have you gotten from this?
You know, I'm an old timey too. I got licensed in '99 and I did some events without really knowing. I was doing events throughout my career. I've been in leadership for years, so I'm just getting back into the sales part of it. And I love the system and the details and the follow-up. So I really do think I'm going to join this program. I was just looking at the dates and the recordings this time around.
Yeah, I love it. Not every date's going to work, Patricia. We know that, right? That's why we don't do the July 4th class. But the best thing is there's enough separation between the classes, between Tuesday and Friday, that you can catch up if you have to miss one, right? It's summer, we're busy, we're doing stuff. But my biggest like suggestion is that you do block off that time and watch the makeup video so that you can get caught up. But here's the beauty of event mastery. I want everybody to know is the problem with most people in events is they try to do them in 4 weeks or they, right? And what we're going to do is we can do a little each week, 2 hours, 1 hour each week, and then have a huge, awesome event. But you know what? Too many people like, oh, I heard I need to do an event. I'll do one in 4 weeks. And guess what? It's all hurried and it's all stressful and it's all, no, if you did the same amount of work in the 4 weeks over 8 weeks, it's really like not that much to do on a weekly basis. And I think that's the biggest aha people have with event mastery is it's so doable when you have a checklist and when you have time, not too much time, right? 12 weeks is too long, but 8 weeks is like literally the perfect amount of time, right? 12 weeks, you tell people about an event coming up in 12 weeks, they ignore you. But if you tell them there's an event coming up next month, all of a sudden they're like, oh, I better note that. So love it.
Good.
Yeah. Randy Marshall, how about you? Question, aha.
I have more of a question. So aside
Yeah.
from event mastery, do you have anything that would be like, I don't know, information about client experience? So like intake while you're working with them, closing gift type, you know, after the transaction's over type thing?
Yeah, so we have an ultimate client experience program, right? But I'm gonna tell you the first step is to get clients. Would you agree with that? And so, I mean, unless you have too many clients, do you have too many clients and referrals right now?
No.
Okay. So most people's problem is getting the referrals and getting the clients. So my suggestion would be to focus on that. But I want you to know something, right? Is I'm a huge believer in something called the experience economy, right? People will come to us for experiences. And the better experience we deliver, the more referable we are. Would you agree with that, Randy?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want you to know is we have a class called BAM, Buyer Agent Mastery, that literally describes the ultimate buyer experience. And we also have a class called Seller Agent Mastery that discusses the ultimate seller experience. So we have that, but that is outside the scope of event mastery. My suggestion is get clients. And the thing I know about you is you're probably going to deliver a pretty dang good experience just simply because you asked that question. Somebody who cares about the experience tends to deliver a pretty good experience. We can always get better, but that's my suggestion. Does that help, Randy?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say get into the flow of what we're doing, and then the rest of the things that we do will seem to flow pretty naturally. I'm going to tell you right now, once you go through event mastery, you're going to want to take time mastery. And once you take time mastery, you're going to want to take networking mastery. And once you take networking mastery, you're going to take buyer agent mastery and seller agent mastery. And you're going to be the greatest real estate agent in the history of the world for your community. I mean, that's what we do. We have a system for that, right? So I love that. Great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Anybody else with a comment or a question? I promised we'd be out of here at on top of the hour. So we're at 10 minutes. So anybody else with questions, answers? Judy, Paul, did you have something before you jump out? You're probably running to a closing, right?
Actually, I have a dentist appointment that I'm running late.
Dude, you could have lied to me and said yes, right? You could have said, no, I have an appointment with a client. The client's you. So
That
your
was
smile,
afterward.
your smile looked great though. I
Yeah.
don't even, you don't need to go to the dentist. Like,
My dentist is a sponsor of my events
oh,
sometimes.
quit it. Quit
Yeah.
it.
True.
So Judy, how many times have you done event mastery?
I just finished my second time
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm still learning. I'm a work in progress.
And it changes every time, right? Event mastery gets better every time, right? So I'm still learning all the time too. So I love it. Judy, you go to your dentist appointment, have fun, and I hope they don't find any cavities.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
All right. So any other questions, suggestions, ahas, comments, anything at all? I'd love to hear if you've got anything you want. I'm here to help. Please take advantage of this moment. And by the way, you can use the QR code right here to scan that and get in, or you can go to kwreferralmasters.com, which will forward you to the KW Maps coaching. Sherry Harrington in the house. Anytime you want to talk, you just like, how long do we have to sign up? Sign up today, Lovo. I'll get you an event mastery book, right? Yeah, sorry.
I just wanted to say, and he didn't put me up to this. I would pay anything to take this class. It completely, I might take it again actually, but it completely changed my business. And anybody who wants to reach out to me and chat about it, I put my number in the chat, but it is business changing. I was a number 2 agent in my office last year, number 8 in the region. And this is my lead gen right here. This and agent referrals. That's it. And that's all I do. And it's super fun. And it's a great way to build your business. And this is my thing. And I absolutely love it. So thank you, Michael.
Well, I thank you. Like, that's awesome. And I'm humbled every time it's, every time you, I mean, you're so appreciative, Sherry, and I love that. And that's like, for people that don't know me, I help business owners build their businesses based on love, generosity, and appreciation. And Sherry exemplifies that to the T. And like, when we're all said and done, and when I mean like we're all said and done, at the very end, we don't want to be recognized as 2025 salesperson of the year. Like that's not going on our tombstone. What's going on our tombstone is probably something about love, generosity, and appreciation. So what if we built our business the way we want to build our lives? And that's how we build it, on those blocks of love, generosity, and appreciation. And Sherry, I've even seen it in you in the last 4 or 5 years of just like, you're so fast to appreciate. You're like, appreciation is just tip of tongue with you so fast. And it's just been amazing to watch your growth. It's just been amazing.
Thank you. It makes life easier and it's fun. You know,
Yeah.
Lead generation doesn't have to be boring and tedious.
Painful,
it can be fun.
Awkward. Like, it doesn't have to be awkward. It can be
exactly.
Awesome.
And I'm an introvert. So if I can do this, anybody can do it.
Well, I have a slide in here I didn't show, but it's like, I'm nobody special. I'm from a small town in Kansas, 1,100 people. And like, I mean, 1,100 people, small town in Kansas, super small sphere. I'm not more smarter. There we go. I just literally proved what I was about to say. I'm not smarter than anybody else. I'm not like good looking. I'm not any of these things, right? I am super average in a lot of ways, but where I'm not average is in referral generation. I think I'm the best in the world. I do. In referral generation. I need to be better at marketing how I am in referral generation, but thanks to KW, we're working on that. But I think the big thing is that like that we have a system that produces, and you know, it's just one of those where, guess what? It doesn't matter what we look like. Doesn't matter what color we are. Doesn't matter how tall we are or how short we are or how smart we are. It matters. Do you run the system or not? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So love that. Thank you, Sherry. All right.
Thank you.
Did I miss anything? Mandy, did I miss anything from the chat window that I need to cover? Yeah, Nick Maines said, make it fun, not business, right? And then anything else that I missed in the, one thing I do want to say, I don't know if GC Lovo Jones is still here, but GC asked, what was it? Let's see. Oh, how long do we have? Here's the thing I'll tell you. You have till June 3rd to sign up for a class that you're probably waiting for some sales pitch of midnight tonight or at the end of this Zoom, it's over. I'm not going to do that to you. But here's what I will tell you. The sooner you sign up, the more little things that we're going to give you before you start. So the sooner you sign up, the more little bonuses, strategies, videos, and other things that I will get to you during the process. So you will, and you don't want to sign up June 3rd for a June 3rd class, right? It's just going to be too crammed. So I would say do it while you're thinking of it. So thank you, Sherry Harrington. I appreciate it. Enjoy your day. All right. So Sherry and Mandy, have you guys worked on getting, doing the drawing and letting us know who? Let me go to that. Oop, there's I'm nobody official, right? Just do what I do, run the system, right? I went to 5 different colleges. That makes me like a Rhodes Scholar, right? I'm just kidding. All right. This is the way to get started. And then let's do the TV, right? So TV, I like this part. So drum roll, drum roll. Who's going to say it, Sherry or Mandy? I know you had to spin the wheel, and that's always fun. Sherry, you got it? Oh, she says, hold a second. And by the way, I'm going to ship this TV directly to your house, just so you know. You don't have to come to my house and pick it up. Though that might be fun, right? We'd have an event of some sort. Sherry Maher is my daughter, in case you guys were asking or thinking about like who she was, right? And I just want you to know that we were at a bar and grill a couple of weeks ago, and we were there, and she was sitting there, I was sitting there, and then so she ordered a beer, and then the lady who was the server goes, "Well, do your dad want one too?" And I just want you to know that server did not get a very big tip that night. So the server actually carded Sherry, and then it was like, oh, interesting. Does your dad want a beer too? So, all right. So who do we got as a winner?
It's Randy Marshall.
Randy, and Randy is on. That's awesome. That's pure luck.
I know. I took everybody out that
250
wasn't
registered
on
people,
right now.
and Randy
so,
Marshall was called.
yeah.
So Randy, I need your address. If you can private, you can email. You want to email it to me?
Sure.
Why don't you email it, michael@kw.com. Just
Okay.
my first name, michael@kw.com. And congratulations, dude. It's a
Thank
nice
you.
TV.
I appreciate it.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Gennaro Gonzalez asked, can recordings be watched multiple times? Yes, recordings are available for 60 days after the conclusion. So, yes, you get 60 days to watch them. So you can take them. But I do suggest you do the event during National Ice Cream Week, because that's what it's calibrated to do. Listen, you don't care. Like, does it matter what day you do the event? The answer is not really, right? So we're just going to pick the day for you. All right. All good. Nick Maines, any other question, suggestions, ahas? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know, I really, really appreciate, I am passionate about events right now, because it is generating buyers, it's generating sellers, it's generating referrals, it's generating money for sponsor partners. It's fun. It's TCPA compliant. It's RESPA compliant. It's DNC compliant. It is, did I say fun? It's energizing, and I hope you jump on the event train. We'd love to have you. We'd love to help you. And if there's any questions that you have for me, please don't hesitate to go to michael@kw.com and email me. I do answer those emails eventually. Michael@kw.com. And otherwise, we'll see you in joingengen.com in our referral network. I hope you're able to join us in that group. And otherwise, we'll see you next time. I appreciate it. I also have to give a big shout out to Graham at KW Map Support for all the help and all the assistance that he did getting us to today, and looking forward to future events like this. So Graham, thank you so much. I appreciate you and your team.
You bet. Appreciate you guys.
All right, everybody, we'll see you on the other side of an event. Can't wait to see you. Have a great one.